Hey Peter, welcome to Meet the Boss Junior. Today I'm speaking with you, Peter Birch, CEO of Talking Health Tech. First question, you might know I love cars. What's your favorite car?
Well, I had to think, and my favorite car isn't like a make and model. I'm not the biggest car guy, but even though actually one of my jobs that I had, like I was never really big into cars, and one of my jobs ended up being managing, like, roadside when you break down, or if like you get a flat tire and you're driving and you call up roadside assistance. I managed a roadside assistance team, and so mechanics on the phones, and they'd come to me and be like, what do I do in this situation? And I didn't know anything about cars. But my favorite car is, I still remember my first car that I got, which was this cool blue 88 Corolla, and it had like the little kind of angles, and it had no power steering, but I loved it because it had this fluffy cow steering wheel cover that I put on, and like this sick cassette tape player that I used to smash out heaps of cool tunes on. So yeah, that's my favorite car.
Think back to when you were a kid. What did you want to do when you grew up?
I really didn't know. And I was a bit worried about that, because everyone was like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. And like, I just enjoyed I really enjoyed playing cricket. So I want to be a cricket player. And then people were like, nah, you need a job. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then I still don't think I even worked it out during school. My mum told me that I should be a lawyer because they make heaps of money, but I'm not sure if that was good advice. And that's I didn't know. And I think that's okay. I've learned now that was okay. But yeah.
Great. So I want to hear all about your work, but first tell me your story. How did you get to be a CEO?
Yeah. So it's kind of cool because I'm CEO of my own little company that I created. And that company, I didn't actually expect to become a company when I first started it. I've always worked within healthcare, but I'm not a doctor. And I've run clinics. So I've been the manager for clinics, but then I reported to someone else, and I was in charge of making sure those clinics did what they were supposed to, and ran on time and were making money and keeping patients well and stuff. And then that was in working for bigger companies, but then I went to like smaller startups, and they were the health tech companies making cool software for doctors and clinicians and stuff. So I was responsible for all the business side of running them, and again, employing people and all of that. So general management, jack of all trades, expert of nothing type stuff. But still working for somebody else, working alongside founders. And that was kind of my thing, that I was the one working with the person, like with the CEO, and I would be out there like doing the doing and actually like making things happen. And so that was always my phrase, was like, like, well, let's just go actually make it happen, which is actually the saying for now, like my company, because that's kind of what I've always thought, that was my thing, that I was the doer. So then, like I said, this company, Talking HealthTech, that I'm the CEO of, like that just came organically because I started doing podcasts and stuff like this, and just doing interviews with people that I thought were interesting. Some were in the health tech space. Others, I used to do a community radio show, and it was all about like heavy metal music, because I was heaps into like angry music, and I still occasionally bring out the angry music for the drive, but that's kind of just reliving my past. So very much had fun interviewing people and just chatting and learning and doing what you're doing. This is why I think this is so cool.
Great. So tell me about your company. What is your product and who are your customers?
Sure thing. So Talking Health Tech, the product, there's nothing really physically tangible. Well, I guess except for us, we've got socks, but we're not a company that sells socks, but we've got socks that have got our logo on it, which is a bit of fun. That was lucky I had the socks there. So our product is the membership. So you join the membership, which is kind of, it's kind of cool, because I don't have to like box up things or store things in my house other than pairs of socks. But it's you buy access to our membership, and the membership gives you the ability to get content like videos and listen to things and learn things that you wouldn't have otherwise listened to. You get to connect with other people in a place that's like, you pay us so that we can make it safe and secure, and like, you're not dealing with the Wild West and crazy. Like, we do all the work in finding the right people for you to connect with. So that's the value that people get. There's also companies. So that's for like the individuals that join our membership, all about health technology. For companies who they join, they get to have a platform to speak to the people they want. They get to do their marketing and their sales stuff of having the presence on our website, and they get to post stuff on our website that about all the cool things they're doing. And we then curate it. So we all bring it together and then share it to people that may want to be interested in it. So that's what we do. And we do that all in this really niche, like really specific area of technology in healthcare. And that's our membership. So that's our product, is the membership. We also sell, the other thing we sell is like advertising space and sponsorship, which is kind of similar to what I said before. That's the kind of things we do.
What do you love most about your job?
I love that I get to speak to people, again, kind of similar to what I'm doing here. I love that it's something that I've created from scratch, and it's just grown organically. And it's kind of cool taking something that didn't exist before this, and now it makes money that I can then pay my kids to eat food and like have a house and things like that. So I think that's awesome. And I that excites me. It also scares me sometimes too, because it's like, I can't just go, oh, I'll leave that for someone else to worry about, because it's really me. I've got a great team that support me, but it kind of just stops with me. So, but all things aside, the good bits far outweigh the scary bits for sure.
What's the hardest thing about your job?
Probably that last bit was like, all of it comes down to me. So sometimes it can feel like you feel really lonely and you're like, what do I do? Because this problem's come up. I've got no idea how to deal with it. And you've got to be everything. You've got to wear different hats. You've got to be the accountant 1 minute, then you've got to be the salesperson, then you've got to be the HR manager. So that excites me. I like doing all of those things, but sometimes that can get really hard. So that's why it's really important that even though I haven't got heaps of staff members or like I don't have a boss except for my wife, but she's my boss. But I just build a good network of people that know stuff that I can speak to, and if I get stuck, I can call them or say, hey, have you had this problem before? So building up that network is pretty important to deal with that really hard thing.
What's one piece of advice for me as I think about starting my own company?
I think it would be, don't just consume, learn and just hear things, but don't be too worried about, oh, what am I going to do it on? And don't force yourself into a thing and saying, I have to start a company, so I have to find something to do it about. I reckon just fall in love with the process of learning about it, and something comes up. Because I didn't think, when I was even 3-4 years ago, I had no idea this was going to be my job and this was going to be my thing. But I think because I just started doing stuff that I really liked and just got so into it, opportunities start to open up. So just keep learning. But
looks like that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for coming on this show and sharing your story. Best luck with your future.
You too, buddy. You're a champion. Thank you so much.
You're absolutely welcome.